Superpowers. It hurt. They never mentioned that in the comic books. It hurt like hell. It must have hurt for them all, at first. Except for Superman, or Kal-El, or Clark Kent, or whatever, who was born like that. But take Peter Parker. It must have hurt him. Just imagine, you're bitten by some radioactive spider, and then you start getting urges to climb up the walls. Obviously, you're using muscles and tendons you never used before. Don't tell me it didn't hurt. Don't tell me it didn't ache and burn and smart like hell. It does hurt. Believe me. Glass is like razor blades or a really sharp knife. It feels like it burns too. I looked down my arm and expected to see red, seared flesh. Expected to see wells and swelling, cuts even. There's nothing. Just ordinary, unmarked skin. I get black dots floating in front of my eyes from the pain. My eyes are watering, and I think I bust a tooth from where I clenched them against a sudden white-hot burst of pain. That's a lot of hurt. And that's not all. There's another guy they got wrong too. On the telly or in films. You see a guy just walk through a wall or a door, just like that, no sweat. But it's what you don't see that's the killer. For a start, did I mention the pain? Okay, for a brick wall, it's less than glass. More like being pummeled over a steel bar than walking through flames. But it's still there. No, the real problem is your clothes. No way you can take your clothes with you. You feel yourself losing it, dissolving, disappearing. You get the distinct feeling that if you don't watch out, remind yourself who you are, the idea of your body shape and size and color, you can dissolve and disappear completely. That you flow through the wall, but not reappear on the other side. Lost, melting into the ether. And of course, you can see nothing. I mean, how can you see anything when your eyes are melting along with the rest? And so your clothes stay behind. Is it logical when you think about it? They're not part of you, are they? The first time I walked through a wall, though, I lost a filling. The dentist had done a good job devistalizing the tooth, cleaning out the cavity and everything. I don't feel anything. But now I've got a hole. How can I explain that? I mean, the tooth's perfect, not broken or anything. Just no more filling. I could say it fell out, play dumb, but what's the point? If I get it replaced, it'll just fall out next time I try it. Good job I don't have a pacemaker or anything like that. That would really have taken a lot of awkward explaining. I don't even think about trying anything after you've just eaten. That's really gross. Smearing stuff across the wall and dripping down. When I cleaned it up, I really wanted to vomit. And then I couldn't. There was nothing left to puke out. But you can walk through walls and such. You can come out the other side as naked as the day you were born, with shoes and clothes and keys and your watch, mobile, all stuck to the other side. What sort of superpower can you call that? When there's beds, you can fall through the bed and wake up on the floor, your nose in dust bunnies and lost socks. How do you think I found all this sort of thing out anyway? You think I walked through a wall someday and said to myself, hey, I wonder if I can walk straight through this wall? No way. After weeks of weird dreams and falling through my bed and finally realizing that, no, someone wasn't pulling a fast one on me. The way I see it, I'm lucky. I don't keep falling and end up in the basement or worse, which I don't think is likely for two reasons. For a first, there seemed to be some sort of reflex, an avastic pullback to solidarity once you get through something. And there's something, the question of, let's call it, organic matter. And yes, I did use the dictionary for that last sentence. Like I said, glass, metal, stone, brick, all those I can pass through with no problem. Apart from it, burning like hell. But I can get stuck with a simple leather belt or the wrong pair of shoes. Even like cotton and wool can slow you down, tugging at you, pulling you back. And I don't even want to think about trying to walk through someone else. And that's it. That's my superpower. And what I've been able to find out about it, pretty useless, isn't it? Not really going to save the world with that, am I? The guy was waiting for me on the pavement on the other side. Brought the mop to the stop, padlock to it, no waiting sign, pulled my helmet off. I thought I'd the thought of getting cape and tunic, or at least a t-shirt, but it was too cold on the bike. There was always a risk of the cloak getting caught on the wheels, and besides, no one would get the joke. "Hi," I said. "Took your time, didn't you?" said the other. He was wearing a thick quilted silvery ski jacket and waving mobile as he spoke. "I was on the other side of town, wasn't I? I told you 15 minutes. And it can't be more than 12, so keep your hair on." All right, just saying, that's all." He held the door open and led the way upstairs. "You check everything?" I asked. "It's all above board, yeah. What'd you take me for?" "A professional. I ask everyone the same questions, so no need to take it personally," I replied calmly. "What have we got?" "Steel plate, 1/4 of an inch thick, permadone deadlock." I sucked in air sharply. "Let me guess." He stepped outside. The door slammed shut behind him. Went out for a bottle of vino. And I don't think to check his pocket until after he pulled the door shut. But the same difference. We climbed the stairs soundlessly. There was a Bordeaux stair carpet over the polished floorboards and creamed walls. An alcove among the walls were there what looked like engravings or perhaps reproductions with small lights and shiny brass fittings playing down on them. The place smelled like money. So the pictures might be real after all. We reached the 3rd floor where a red-faced man with a classy long brown overcoat was sitting on the stairs. He stood up as we rounded the banister. "Is this your secret weapon, then?" I asked him with a hint of condescension in his voice. There was also anger and a bit of sarcasm in there. Mr. Browncoat had an high opinion of himself and seemed used to getting things his way. "If you don't want to try, I can get me a toolkit and drill through your door. It'll be messy, and you'll have to replace the steel plate. Cost you an arm and a leg, ask anyone," said the locksmith to the customer. Mr. Browncoat lifted his hand. "Okay, my stupid." He looked at me. "Gents, is this the door?" It looked solid. The matching cream paintwork was impeccable except for a few scratch marks where the metal bars blocked access for the old credit card trick. You've already tried x-rays?" I said. The locksmith in the ski jacket shrugged. 9 times out of 10 it works. This was a variation of the credit card trick, except for the old x-ray prints were flexible enough to slip under the metal protectors and round the doors, yet solid enough to push tongue back all the way out of the way. "Are we agreed on a price?" I asked the brown coat. "I take 60 and he gets his call-out fee." Browncoat pulled some banknotes out of his wallet. "I had everything else on me, just not my key." He slid my hand back into his pocket. "But that 60 is dependent on you getting the job done right." "Should be no problem with that," I said. Looked at the closed door. I turned back to the others. "Gentlemen, if you don't mind waiting for me on the floor below. Tricks of trade and all." "Look, I want my door opened," stated the brown coat indignantly. "You didn't tell him." "You didn't tell him?" said the other. "Slipped my mind." He shrugged. "What's it to you anyway? Just open the bloody door." "You respect my conditions, or I leave now." "Oh, Lord. Just what I needed. A diva. Do the job, and shut up, or you'll never get work from me again, kiddo. Get this straight. I'm helping you out. I don't need you. You don't need me to get that door open. And if you don't respect my conditions, only will I never work for you again. But I will walk down those stairs and drive off, and the only thing you can do about that is to do what you agreed, and to get your ass downstairs." "Prima donna, God help me," stated the locksmith. He shrugged off the hand, and when Browncoat grabbed his arm. "Stop the pissing contest, right? Let's go. I just want to get back in, and tonight, if possible. If that's what he wants." He started to walk along the landing to the stairs down. "If you think said the other. "Put a sock in it, mate." The brown coat. "Let's go." The locksmith glared at me, mouthing something I didn't particularly feel like trying to understand, then turned away. And make it snappy, he called out. Some of us have jobs to do. If you think I'm ever coming out for you again, I murmured as I set my crash helmet down the stairs where the brown coat had been sitting. I waited until I was sure they were downstairs and out of sight. I could hear them muttering together. I slipped off my anorak and rolled up my sleeve. I looked at the door, imagining the configuration of the lock on the other side. Was the handle or knob? Was it stiff or smooth or well oiled? How far did I poke out of the door? I braced myself for the sting and burn, then plunged my hand through, turned the handle, opened the door from the inside. I blocked the door open with a locksmith's tool and pulled the anorak back. Then, with a small grin, I felt in my pocket for a small plastic bag, opened it, and sprinkled sawdust on the doormat, just to keep them guessing. It's open, I called over the banister. Just come up now. The end.